right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Forbidden World 1982. This is going to be another Adrian recommendation. The movie poster says, a science fiction horror in deep space. Part alien, part human. Old Nightmare. I love that movie poster. Whoa. It's got the blondie on there getting eaten by the alien ripoff. Ridiculous looking paper mache monster. All right. Not to be confused with Forbidden Worlds. Or Lost in Space episodes, season 2. All right, Forbidden World, originally titled Mutant, is a 1982 U.S. science fiction erotic horror film. Yeah, I wouldn't call it softcore porn like my former coworker, the born-again Christian Trump fanatic. He said this movie was soft porn. There's simulated sex, and the brunette does full frontal, and there's a hot lesbian foos shower scene. But other than that, there's not much going on in terms of nudity and simulated sex. Just looks like they're dry humping. Anyway, the screenplay was written by Tim Corman from a story by R.J. Robertson and Jim Wynorski. It was co-edited. We like Jim Wynorski on this channel. It was co-edited and directed by Alan Holtzman, who had edited Battle Beyond the Stars. There's another one I got to add to my list. 2 years earlier, the cast includes Jesse Vint, Don Dunlap, who is the blondie in this one, the less endowed blondie than June Chadwick. Whoa, she's got some knockers, and she's got full frontal. And she looks like Linda Blair. Lyndon Childs. Truman Lyndon Childs. Fox Harris and Michael Bowen. Forbidden World has also been released under the titles Mutant and Subject 20. The film received 3 nominations for the 1983 Saturn Awards: Best Low-Budget Film, Best Makeup, and Best Special Effects. It was generally panned by critics as a cheap, exploitative imitation of the movie Alien, with sex, nudity, uneven editing, cheap special effects, and a sound design which some moviegoers found unpleasant, although the electronic music score by Susan Justin received mostly positive attention. We like these kind of movies on this channel. Alien ripoff with nudity. What is there not to like? It is frequently paired with and compared to the previous year's Corman-produced alien ripoff, Galaxy of Terror. There are 2 movies I want to add to my list now: Battle Beyond the Stars and Galaxy of Terror, with which Forbidden World shares some of the same sets designed by James Cameron. So the set design is by James Cameron. I better mention his name here. This is unbelievable. This movie just blew me away. I love it. Set design. James Cameron sort of indirectly worked on this film because they were using his recycled sets. Interesting. Okay. The movie also makes use of footage recycled from the 1980 movie Battle Beyond the Stars. We mentioned that, which was also produced by Corman. I got to see that. The film was remade in 1991 under the title Dead Space, on which Corman served as executive producer. There's a third movie I've got to add, Dead Space. The remake had minor variations, but still retains the plot and character stylings of the original, although referring to the mutated virus as a metamorph as the original did. In the distant future, at a genetic research station located on the remote desert planet of Zarbia, a research team has created an experimental life form they have designated Subject 20. This life form was built out of the synthetic DNA strain Proto-B, and it was intended to stave off a galaxy-wide food crisis. However, Subject 20 mutates rapidly and uncontrollably, and it kills all the laboratory subject animals before cocooning itself within an examination booth. Military officer Mike Colby, accompanied by his robot assistants, Sam 104, is called in to investigate the problem. After Colby settles in, his decision to terminate Subject 20 to prevent further deaths is met with research-minded secrecy and resistance. The staff of the station includes the head of research, Gordon Hauser, his assistant, Barbara Glasser, lab assistant, Tracy Baxter, lab technician, Jimmy Smith, electrician, Brian Beal, the station's head of security, Earl Richards, and Cal Timbergren, the medical doctor. When Subject 20 hatches from its cocoon, it begins killing the personnel at the station, starting with Jimmy, who is charged with cleansing the subject lab of the dead animal test subjects. As Subject 20 continues to kill most of the station crew, the reason for the deception is revealed. Subject 20's genetic design incorporates human DNA. Its method of killing is to inject its prey with Proto-B DNA strain, which then proceeds to remove all genetic differences within specific cells. The result is that the victim's living body slowly erodes into a gelatinous pile of pure protein, which Subject 20 consumes for subsistence. Pretty interesting alien here. He's just trying to make food. All right. And he manages to eat the blondie alive. She was pretty good looking. Why did she quit film? She's extremely good looking. So is the brunette. Oh, man. I'm too old to get any kind of personal gratification from watching nude women, but let me tell you, these two were eye candy. All right. According to director Alan Holtzman, he began shooting without a script with these directions for Corman. You have 4 days to write, produce, and direct a 7 to 8 minute opening of a space movie. I'll give you an astronaut and a robot, If you need any inspiration, I've always wanted to do a version of Lawrence of Arabia in outer space. Holtzman created the sequence, adding a dogfighting sequence using footage from Battle Beyond the Stars. Corman was impressed and signed Holtzman to direct. Forbidden World was shot under the working title Mutant over the course of a 20-day shooting schedule for under $1 million. Due to the rapid pace of filming and production, cast and crew often had to be careful what they touched or where they stepped, as sets would often have wet paint while they were filming. The effects were crafted by Robert and Dennis Skotak. During editing, Holtzman discovered he had insufficient footage of the titular mutant and called in John Carl Buechler to redo some of the sequences. Review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes gives the film a 60% based on reviews from 5 critics. The Los Angeles Times called it a lively, amusingly gruesome. Lively, amusingly gruesome. All right. On July 20th, 2010, Shout Factory released Forbidden World on both DVD and Blu-ray disc. The DVD is a 2-disc set. The set also includes the original Alan Holtzman cut that was rejected by Roger Corman due to having humor, while Corman wanted the film to be done as a straight sci-fi horror film. This is the first time this cut is available anywhere. Well, I want to see that. Get the Shout Factory DVD. That looks interesting. On August 13th, 2019, Scream Factory released Forbidden World on a single disc Blu-ray collector's edition in a steelbook. Now let's go to the IMDb page. Nobody in the chat room. Getting an early start on my movie reviews. I tried to go to confession with my new old spiritual director, Father Michael J. Konopik, but I had to wait in line, and then he was rushing to do the Novus Ordo Mass. So I ended up going to the Safeway on 7th Avenue. And surprisingly, their deli was still open. They had everything I wanted there. All right, Forbidden World 1982, rated R, an hour 17 minutes. Like I said, this is not a softcore porn. Obviously, my former coworker has never seen a real softcore porn movie. Gets a 5.1 out of 10, 6,500 ratings. So it is very popular. In the distant future, a Federation Marshal arrives at a research lab on a remote planet where a genetic experiment has gotten loose and begins feeding on the dwindling scientific group. Sound familiar? Yes, it's Aliens. No. More like this, Galaxy of Terror, which I've got to see. Humanoids from the Deep. Heartbreaker, Streets of Fire. And Barbarian Queen. During a screening, Roger Corman actually smacked an audience member on the head for laughing at the film. When Roger left the theater, the guy he punched poured soda all over his head from the balcony. In the first lab scene on planet Zarbia, when Mike Colby says, "That thing is trouble, I can smell it," we can see a yellow microphone appearing from the interior left that appears again on the next scene from the same plane. The very hot Tracy Baxter says, "You know what? It looks like you could really use a steam bath." Mike Colby says, well, I had a hard night. Tracy Baxter says, so fair is fair. Get naked. How come women never talk to me like that? The concluding credits roll over the vomit-covered corpse of the monster. The German version, labeled Mutant das Grün im All, recycles the space battle of the first 5 minutes with a new language track. Tracy's absence is explained away by simply not waking her from the cryosleep. Sam's return upon destruction at the end of the original film is not explained at all. This was edited into Not of This Earth, 1988. Soundtracks: The Blue Danube, uncredited, by Johann Strauss. So I guess I should put music by Johann Strauss. Excuse me. Music by Johann Strauss. All right. That's fixed. Here's a review by Critic. It's dated February 19th, 2000 on IMDb. Doesn't have a rating, but it says Corman's second best Alien ripoff. All right, here goes. Well, I've known and loved this one since I was a tyke and now own this video. It's your basic Alien ripoff with a bunch of scientists hiding out on a remote space station on Zarba, where a troubleshooter, Jesse Vint, comes to save the day. However, the problem is an experiment which turns out to be an alien that escapes and goes on a rampage. However, the best thing about this film is the element of pure cheese. If you like how Corman used to put cheese in his films, you'll love this. Anyhow, the best is probably where they force feed the alien a lump of cancer and make him puke. That's great. However, the acting's pretty amateurish. The directing is about awful. The set and FX are about average for mid-80s. The one thing, though, is the change of lights throughout the film, which can be found in Event Horizon and a dozen other films. It's a great cheesy flick for drive-in and or Corman fans, but those expecting a contender to Alien, well, you've been warned. So, what is Corman's first best Alien ripoff? Event Horizon, maybe? I don't know. Oh, Karate Man's in the chat room. He's ran out of comments, suggestions. How many more years? But I did do an Adrian recommendation just now. Coming down the pike is Chainsaw Sally, 2004. Then The Fate of the Furious, 2017. I'm guessing The Fate of the Furious has Jason Statham again. Then I've got The Shooter, 1997. That looks like a Karate Man recommendation, The Shooter. Must need Thai food? Okay. I like their beef kebabs. That's about it. Pad Thai. Pad Thai is pretty good. Anyways, Karate Man is in the chat room. Asian food for life. Anytime I see that for life word, it reminds me of that other annoying movie reviewer. Yes, man. I gotta wear my backwards baseball cap and put a Cobra poster behind me so I can get more views on my channel later.